We'll see. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we should be back live. Keyword should. Should be back live. Let's see where we are with this. Let's see. Yeah. Looks like we are live. Are we back? Are we back? Are we back? Are we back, ladies and gentlemen?
All right, hopefully this works.
Yeah, right. Hopefully this works. I agree, man, because yeah. I didn't see any problems the last time, to be honest, so I gotta be fair with that. But I think we should be okay now. I think we
What's a Chop Hub?
Chop Hub. Shout out to Chop Hub. Chop Hub is a secret.
It's not causing the lag?
No, it's definitely not causing anything. Believe it or not, Chop Hub is Turf's video editor. So if you know of Opus Clip and all the other cool tools that are out there for video chopping, editing, etc., well, Chop Hub is something that will be coming to a computer near you soon, very soon. But yes, I'm glad you noticed that, and hopefully eventually others notice. And yeah, it will be coming very shortly. So, but yeah, I think we're fine.
Oh, I mean, the stream, I got it up here. It looks clean now. So
it looks clean now, huh?
Yeah.
Interesting. I don't know why we have problems. Okay, so yeah, I don't know why we have problems. Why is Spence here? It's not collected, but yeah, we should be fine. I don't.
So shall we dive back into the
Yes. Yeah, I think we're good, man. I think we're good. Shout out to the people out there in Raiderland, etc. We're gonna keep going, yes. And I see people popping up. Can we see another shot of the egg yolk? It is working now. Now it's working. Thank you. I don't know what.
I mean, technology, man. There's a million and one things that could be going on.
A million and one. And I don't know if it's even still working like I want it to, but I'm going to leave it as is, man, because Chris says it's working. Wait, maybe not. Okay, no, we're good. All right. Finally, we are good. So we're diving right back into it, ladies and gentlemen. We're going straight to the whole coaching side of things.
Yeah.
And as you stated, you wanted
Jesse Minter.
That was
my number one, yeah.
That was your number one guy. He's a defensive guy too, right?
Yeah. But more than that, I believe he's a organizational builder. He's got kind of a natural teaching ability. Someone who connects with superstars and the special teams player the same.
Right.
And, I think that's a super underrated thing, being able to connect with everyone on the team.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree with you more. And as a coach, that is an absolute must, right? For whatever reason, no matter how you want to look at that or view it, coach has to be respected first and foremost. He has to be a leader of men. He's got to have the ability to have a man follow, right, in itself. And I'm not going to lie and say he's without those qualities and already has not shown those things from the past, as well as, moving towards his newly found head coaching career now, obviously. I would have not been mad at that pick. I know a lot of people that would have not been mad at that pick. You are not alone in terms of Mr. Minter. So
I tend to be very kind of in the details when I'm assessing anything. And something that really stood out about Minter was his interactions with Derwin James, who I consider a superstar.
Yep.
The way Derwin James was listening to him, you could tell there was a certain level of they were on the same page when they were having conversation about super technical details of playing football. And I just wanted that in Vegas. I saw it and I wanted it.
I don't blame you. I'm right there when it comes to having that nerd, if you will, that football nerd. That's kind of why I love McDaniel and kind of fell in love with him and his mind in terms of offense. Do I think he's a head coach? Probably not, right? And even in terms of offensive coordinator,
I'm not happy he's with the Chargers, that's for sure.
No, none of us are happy with that guy being there. That's a big problem. That's a big problem for us in a lot of ways that, whether you like it or not, you're going to have to deal with it. As a Raider fan, we're going to have to deal with this, and who knows for how long, because God forbid he realized that that's his actual natural position, meaning an offensive coordinator and not a head coach, right?
He could settle in there long term. You just don't know. Even if he's doing well, like if he's, having success there, he could stay there.
Spagnuolo comes to mind, right? I mean, that guy's had how many chances now as a head coach? I think maybe 2. I definitely one, maybe 2 chances, but he's realized, hey, let Andy Reid be that guy. I want defense, and sometimes when you learn that lesson, it creates magic.
And there's something to be said about synergy. Someone like Andy Reid and Spagnuolo, it just seems like they're working together like an engine. It's just kind of a perfect thing.
I agree. And now you put Mr. Eric Bieniemy back in the mix.
Oh yeah.
I like to tell people, man, I think Eric Bieniemy is that asshole coach.
Oh, he brings accountability. They haven't had that in a few years.
Accountability and asshole side of things, that's just natural for him, which is why teams tick in terms of, his philosophy, if you will. And it's just natural, I think, which is why it's hard for people to deal with him, which is maybe why he hasn't, gotten his chance yet. There
are drawbacks. There's always pros and cons to everything in life, but what he's doing really well is he's setting the standard for all the new players coming into an organization as to what's expected of them. And not every coach can do that, kind of set the bar, and I think Bieniemy sets the bar.
Yes, absolutely. I don't know why we know why, and I'm not even going to go there because I'm tired of it being brought up on him. Everybody has a past. I'll just leave it at that. His past, I mean, hey, it's time to get over it, in my opinion.
Well, you take your lessons and hopefully you learn from them. That's all you can say about anybody. It's how you respond to life events. You don't dwell in the past. You kind of have to move forward, whoever you are, and integrate those lessons into your future. And if the players respect him, that's all that matters for a team. Exactly.
And that's the thing. I mean, so I full disclosure, and this is where you guys get to learn a little bit more about Terry, right? Because I'll be honest, I love the asshole coach. I mean, I never had a problem getting yelled at from that perspective. I mean, you're not going to curse me out and call me all kinds of names out of my name, no. But, to get me going, to, get the blood boiling and, get yourself in the right mindset to play football, I think it's a necessary evil. And I get it. Not everybody gets pumped up that way, right? Not everybody needs the rah-rah. But
a coach develops a relationship with his player, and based on his understanding of what that player needs, kind of brings it out of them. So
correct. And usually the rah-rah coaches, they care. That's why they're rah-rahs. And, it's kind of hard. And that, hey, if the rah-rah coach isn't rah-rah, you already know there's a problem. And that's how I, kind of gauged a lot of the teams that I was a part of, whether I was a part of them or, looking from afar, if you will. But yeah, I think that's part of his problem, and you don't just see too many, faces of NFL teams being that guy, right? They're not going to show that they're the asshole. Someone else on the team, even if they are the asshole, is designated as the position.
I think it's a very difficult thing to balance, because a lot of what we heard about McDaniels was, yeah, he was a great guy, but he got on the nerves of players and was kind of wearing their patience thin in terms of being able to stick with the program. And if a player can't stick with the program, it's just not going to work. It's a fine line you got to ride.
It is, man. It's a really fine line. And if you lose the locker room, as they say, there's definitely no turning that back. It's just going to only get divided by multiples, right? It's just, that's pretty much the way it goes. You lose the locker room, you can cut it in half. Then you can start cutting those halves in half. And
you get kind of mini tribes within the team as opposed to one unified body, which everyone's got to be rowing at the same time, moving in the same direction.
Correct.
That's the boatman philosophy.
Yes, sir. The Argos. That's what's up, man.
Yeah, Raiders and Argos, they kind of have an overlap in some ways. The way that I always conceived the Raiders was kind of the Bronze Age collapse, the Sea People. Those were the true Raiders, kind of coming into town and taking over, and
yes.
Pillaging just for fun.
Autumn Wind. Absolutely,
yes,
man. Shout out to my guy Autumn Wind, man. Mr. Guinness World Record. That was an amazing feat, I might add. Brian, I still can't.
He was rowing all over the country.
He was definitely rowing, bro. He was rowing everywhere. And salute to him, man. That's crazy. That's a crazy.
Oh, is that a Severe?
Yep. Shout out to Severe. Then we got a Christian Carter Maddox. 1, 2, 3. Please hire Davis Webb. So what do you know
about it?
Yeah, let's talk about it, man. I'm gonna pull him up on my side, but you tell me, what do you know about Mr. Davis Webb?
The number one thing that stands out to me is that he could be still playing today. He has the athletic ability and he has the talent, but he chose coaching, and I really respect that. And I think players who he coaches will respect that as well.
So immediately, effectively, I see this kid is legitimately a kid. 31 years old.
Yeah, he could be playing today.
His birthday is January 22nd, 1995. That's impressive. I didn't know that. Out of Prosper, Texas. So he's coming from, as many would say, the Mecca look. And again, full transparency, everyone should know Turf is from the Northeast. But I consider, and this is going to ruffle some feathers, but I consider Texas the Mecca. I just do. No, not Florida. Well, where half my family is from, where I'm probably getting disowned as we speak, right? No, not California, where I played my junior college football, No, it's Texas, man. Texas is the Mecca.
Yeah, I agree. I think Max Crosby is a testament to that. He grew up in Michigan.
Yeah.
But when things got serious, he moved to Texas to pursue football.
Correct. Dallas, Texas, to be exact.
That's the way it is. Now he's a superstar, so it worked out.
It definitely worked out, man. So, but he's so young, man. He's a Cal Berkeley. I don't even know if he's a grad. That's where he got his education from. So now it's starting to make a little more sense, because this, I'm sure Rundown is very happy. Shout out to my nephew Rundown, because he clearly passes the Rundown test. Anybody that knows anything about the Rundown test, it's solely on age.
Innovation. That's the hope, that he's going to bring something new to the table that we haven't seen before, and grow with the team. More importantly, that his progressions will kind of match our roster, and that's the hope.
And man, so he's a cerebral guy. He was a quarterback himself, right? Yeah, his early life. So he had to play at Cal, right? Graduated from No, he played Texas Tech, ladies and gentlemen. He was a 4-star prospect coming out of high school. And signed
A 3-star.
Yes. And this was back in 2013. He was a freshman.
It says he was familiar with spread concepts. He did a lot of passing, a ton of pre-snap reads. He was super quick with his processing. He had 37 touchdowns in 2016 with California.
Wow.
Yeah, so he knows how to get the ball in the end zone. That's pretty hopeful.
That's his thing, right? That's his thing. I agree. And so he did play. He got drafted. He got drafted by the Giants. 2017 NFL draft, 87th overall, 3rd-round pick.
Yeah, that's trial by fire right into New York and into the media. And as a quarterback, that's gonna take you from a beginner to a veteran real fast.
Yes. And then from there, he went and signed on with the Jets 2018. Right? Then from there, January 2020, signed with the Buffalo Bills. As far as these are practice squad signings. But hey, it doesn't matter, man. The guy is in the sport.
He's building connections, building relationships, and that's what's important for a coach, is to be able to know where the talent is and attract the right talent.
Bingo.
It's what Pete Carroll did so well early in his career, and kind of was his downfall towards the end.
Yes. Unfortunately, he felt he still had the pulse of the player, but it didn't turn out that way. Yeah. So this is definitely more promising, man. I'm not gonna lie. Shout out to Raider Nation. This is more promising. I'll be honest though. The more I look at it, the more and more I wouldn't understand why he'd take this job. That's the thing. Let's be fair with it. Let's be fair, right? Because this is why we're here, ladies and gentlemen, to have the uncomfortable truths, the hard conversations. Because I've been saying it, the reason why Mentor and Kubiak, right? They have fathers that's been in this profession, and they're clearly not going to allow them to take a job of this stature. It can be a career killer. So let's talk about it.
I think here's the kicker, and personally, I don't like this, and I know that you've kind of expressed similar opinions, but it's Fernando Mendoza. He's a quarterback whisperer. This is a huge opportunity to kind of make a statement by taking a guy from college and developing him and having success with him. And that's something that, a quarterback whisperer is looking for, is that opportunity to prove themselves in their greatest skill. And this is that opportunity with us versus any other team.
Right. Oh man, I didn't want to dive into it, but naturally we have to. Particularly,
this is the progression.
It's the progression, specifically in terms of now talking about Mr. Webb here and develop. So, do you think that that's a fit for him though, in terms of Webb? Because the one thing that you just stated that would lead me to believe that it's a mismatch in terms of Mendoza is the quote unquote progression side of things. He's I don't think he's one of the philosophies of cutting the field in half and making a read. I think he's more of, as you stated, a progressive type quarterback, a cerebral thinker that is going to have the expectation of you to read through and process. I don't know if.
Well, I think it'll be a lot like Bo Nix. It'll be very, very similar. Kind of expected to keep the offense moving, not make superhero plays, but allow the whole team to kind of do its part without pulling a Geno and losing the game. He's not going to be expected to win the game single-handedly, and that's super important for a young quarterback, to be steadily making incremental gains over time, not just expected to be the guy day one. And I think Davis Webb kind of fits that with his philosophy of how a quarterback should fit with the team.
That's actually a great take. That's a great take. I don't
And mind you, I'm not a Fernando Mendoza advocate. my guy is Caleb Downs, Sonny Styles, McDonald's. Like I want defense, but this is the cards that we kind of have at the table, and we kind of have to play with them.
Right. So are you of the elk that we need a quarterback this first pick? You trading back, like, where are your thoughts at?
I think it depends on the coach. If we had Minter, I would have been 100% trade back. I would have said we should get the Ohio State University defense in the Las Vegas Raiders. Synergize. That was my MO. But it's had to change. That's the adjustment. Minter went to the Ravens, unfortunately, and Webb is looking like the guy who's best suited to take the job. And from my eyes, this is kind of a perfect scenario for him.
That now that we're saying it, and shout out to the Raiders Syndicate. I'll have to admit, for all I know, I've had all of this information literally at my fingertips because our chat goes crazy. But Turf has been driving all over the country in the Midwest, if you will. Shout out to my Gopher girlies. We had a very, very, very rough weekend. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. My girlie did get her first championship of the season on Volta. So shout out to my daughter, Taryn. Nice. My fool, she got her first title of the season in Vault. Shared with one of her Avengers, as I call them, Ava. But Ava Stewart. Yeah, but man, I've been driving. Shout
out Stewart. That's my last name.
Is it really? She's Canadian too, believe it or not.
Oh, really?
Stewart is part of the Canadian Olympic team. Absolutely.
Sick.
Yeah,
cool.
She's and she is sick in a great way for the people that may not, know us old school.
She's killing it.
Yeah, she's the real deal. But yeah, man, I'm out of the loop. I've been driving and I haven't been able to pay much attention. Not that I did obviously watch the playoff games. And you know what? Hey, there's no rules to this show. I mean, let's talk about the playoffs, man. Let's talk about that real quick before we maybe continue on the coaching and then move into something else. But what's your thoughts on these playoff games, man? I mean, some controversy, right? Yeah, tell me what you think.
Yeah, so I'm the way I operate is I get fixated on details, and the detail that I kind of dialed in on was what was going on in the Twitter space as it was discussing specifically the New England game in the snow. A lot of people discussing whether that is really the best thing for football in today, 2026. Wow. I'm a firm believer that football emerged from war. And in war, you had mud, you had snow, you had rain, you had blood, you had guts. There was everything out there. But today it's become a precision game, and it just doesn't match anymore. When you have players kind of looking like goofballs, kind of fumbling and falling around and not really looking serious, that's not a good look for the sport when you expect them to be a well-oiled machine and they look like,
No, you're right.
Goofy.
Yes. No, you're absolutely right, man. And there's a lot of things that are going on in the game of football. I agree with you 100%. It was never meant to be a sport of excitement. To be honest,
it was warfare.
Exactly, and that's where, and I think that's why we're losing what we're losing in terms of the game as it moves on, throughout its life cycle. But yeah, that's just something that you're not going to see anymore. Is that war? That slinging mud, right?
No,
they're trying to eradicate it. In fact, right, there is no Super Bowl that's not being played in a dome, right, or in inclement weather. Like, yeah, it's just the way things are going.
These guys aren't training for it. They're not practicing for it, so they're looking like they're fish out of water, and that's not a good a look on a professional athlete who's supposed to look like the best in the world. When potentially some backyard football players who are practicing all the time in that condition might look pretty good in that condition.
Right. Yep. Oh, yeah, that's right.
Unbiased,
yeah, my wife is making sure I correct myself. This is her second title, as far as my daughter. Yeah, she's got back-to-back titles on vault.
Got to put it on the chalkboard.
Exactly. We got to make sure we celebrate those wins. Because I won't lie, last week was not a win. They had a long bus ride back to Minnesota last week.
That's a valuable thing for an athlete, though, is adversity, being able to bounce back from those types of environments.
Yes, and that's the thing, man. And I'm glad you bring that up because we did see a lot of that, but just too little, too late, and obviously a huge letdown for the program. But again, you'd rather have that early. Right? Second. Yeah. Actually, it's the not home opener, but it was the Big Ten away opener. So first away meet of the Big Ten. So I mean, yeah, it's good that they got it out of their systems, if you will. So we're gonna move on because it's still a touchy subject for me. I'm still struggling.
I would say a coach in that situation should see that as an opportunity for learning and really pushing progression, because if you get an easy win, the coach can't really pick out things to build on and develop as easily as in a heartbreaker.
Correct, man. So, hey, Coach Jenny has her work cut out for her. Shout out to Coach Jenny, Coach Sam, right? All of the coaching staff up at University of Minnesota. We got your back, and it's just the start of the season. We got plenty of meets left. It'll be a good time for sure.
Yeah, just day to day and keep on building that.
Right.
Keep on stacking them.
And like I do talk about Minnesota a lot in terms of football because I love PJ Fleck. I think PJ Fleck is going to be an NFL coach at some point.
There was a player from Minnesota in the previous draft I really wanted, Ariante Ursary. He went to the Texans.
Yeah.
As a rookie, was starting at left tackle. That's no easy job. And during the season, he even had a plate put in his hand. He broke a bone and was playing with it. So you don't see rookies do that kind of thing.
Minnesota has dogs, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, we have one on our team, Cody Lindenberg, right? Shout out to Cody Lindenberg. He made the squad. He made plays for us this year. I think you'll see him around. I don't sleep on that university, if you will.
Grinders are the backbone of the team. You need those guys.
Yes, and I was very fortunate to start watching them early as my daughter was a freshman, which is why I know what they have. They've attracted their home talent, which is the biggest thing possible for any state school, right? You have to attract your home talent, and that they've done. So
now the home talent has the biggest buy-in, and then anybody who's coming into the program from elsewhere is looking to those guys to kind of set the standard.
At every level, whether it's freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, you are absolutely correct, man. So yeah, I mean, it's cool to see, man. I'm not gonna lie, and there aren't many PJ Flecks on the planet, period. Let alone coaching style. And look, I've already come clean and said I like the asshole coach. I have several reasons, right? The context is I learned that there's always going to be that coach, whether you like it or not. And it's not necessarily a coach's natural intent to be that guy. He may just be designated it. So I don't want to dive into the rabbit hole too much longer. But yeah.
Surf. I played football as well, and I had some pretty major asshole coaches. But they definitely crossed the line while I was playing for them, and it definitely impacted my view on the sport negatively. So it goes both ways. It goes both ways.
It really does, man. I I have stories for the negative sides of crossing lines as well.
Yeah, making young people cry and get super emotional. They're not listening to the coach anymore when they're in a state of collapse. That's not a healthy thing for an athlete. That's why you ride the fine line of you get them to the brink of a break, but you don't want to push it over.
Exactly, and that's the key. The key is knowing when you've gone too far and being able to rein that in. And if you have gone too far, understanding that and still getting that connection with the athlete. It's such a fine line. And that's the thing. Some of these guys, man, you do have to go across the line, right? Some of these guys, you can't even come up to the line. This is where you get paid worth your weight.
Do you reckon a guy like Jack Jones needed that in Las Vegas?
Oh, man, Jack needed all of that. Jack needed somebody that could be real with him.
Yeah.
Get in his head, call him all kinds of necessary names, right? But in a way that he could receive it. And that's part of the problem.
Help Jack get to his best version of himself and not get lost on the confusion.
And you need certain people in order to bring that to him, right? And that's for anybody that comes from any particular background. And when I say particularly, you should know, doesn't mean just the plight of the hood and the African American or black. No, it could be trailer park trash. It could be any.
Yeah, you have to learn your athlete
from a demographic, right? Exactly. And being able to understand that. Not every coach can understand that, right? Again, those are the special guys, man. And those are the ones that, hey, they may have never, ever had to live any of it. But they have the ability to see it and coach through it.
I really feel that the head coach, in a lot of ways, brings in the other coaches and has to manage those coaches' ability to get to that fine line without crossing it and rein them back when they are crossing it so that the team can maintain unity.
Correct.
And our head coaches, McDaniels and AP, and even Pete Carroll to a degree, I don't think achieved that.
Right. Well, I will say this. As far as AP, I am always going to give AP grace. And that was well before we even knew he wasn't really truly getting what he wanted, right? Let's be real. It was very obvious he wanted Jaden Daniels, and we did not try. We didn't even try.
The Jaden Daniels opportunity, it was definitely there to some degree, but the risk was high, and the organization wasn't willing to roll the dice on it.
Coupon time killed that deal. Right? We learned that after the fact, and that's something that I get a little frustrated with too. And hey, you guys are gonna have to deal with turf bouncing all over the place. Because I do want your opinion on this. Like, at some point, there needs to be a single ringable neck.
Someone to take accountability for decisions. Yeah.
It's
not happening right now. Not
happening. It's easy to point the finger at, well, it was your job, right? So how do you feel about this front office? Like, I have a problem right now because what happened last offseason, I don't see changing this offseason. What gives me the fuzzies and the warm, fuzzy feelings that this is going to be any different than last offseason in terms of trying to build up around, right? What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think the hope is that Tom Brady would become more involved and stand alongside Spytech, and that together they would be taking the weight of the organization on their shoulders and taking it off of Mark Davis. That was my hope, and I don't see that happening. I see Tom Brady wanting to make a lot of hidden hand decisions where he's meddling and influencing things and only taking responsibility if it works out. And ultimately that's going to undermine the team.
It's undermining everything, and then nobody can be pointed to as to where the real true problem is. It's giving everybody a scapegoat, in my opinion.
100%, yeah. And the unfortunate thing is Tom Brady is the kind of guy that if he did take the responsibility, it wouldn't be any skin off his back. Like, he would be able to keep going. Like, maybe a slight ego bruise, but the dude could take it, whereas no one else can, stand in that position, especially not Mark Davis. Like, no one really believes that if he's making an influence on the team, that it was his, like, well, he selected AP, and people kind of like, well, what does Mark Davis know about selecting the head coach? But if it was Tom Brady taking that responsibility, people could hold him accountable. He could explain his process and then say that he's going to do things differently moving forward. Like, that just didn't happen.
Not at all. Yeah, not at all. And I don't know. I don't know if we'll ever understand or know who made a lot of some of these decisions.
No. A book might be written about it in the future, but
right.
Today.
We're never going to find out the truth, man. I'm still fuming over who decided that Jack Bush was a number 2-round draft pick. I'm still trying to figure it out.
I think it's Pete Carroll, man. I think that draft has Pete Carroll all over it.
Bingo. Thank you, Pixar. That's what I think as well. It's why did we?
I think he picked every player in that draft.
Yes, it's true. Oh, it pains me, and that's why I
think Spytek knew what he wanted to do, but deferred to Pete Carroll because Pete Carroll had the experience, Pete Carroll had the credibility, and Spytek was the new guy on the block and just trying to find his place.
So this is my problem with that. When is this going to surface again? When Tom gets mad year 10? You see what I mean? Like, yeah. Tom gets mad year 10 when he thinks he's got it all together now. Where are we at with this Spytek?
That's why I think a young coach will be really healthy for the Spytek GM role, is because now he can take that lead. If a young coach is coming in and looking up to Spytek to make the right decisions, now Spytek can take more responsibility and step more into the spotlight of, hey, this is my decision. I'm standing behind it. I'm taking responsibility for it. As opposed to kind of trying to please everyone. He can make the decision that's best for the organization.
Correct. Yeah, that would be nice to see. That would be nice to see. Whether we ever really truly see that or not, that remains
yet to be determined.
It remains to be seen. But that's interesting.
I got a question for you, Turf. What's your thought on Kingsbury?
Oh man, Kingsbury.
Because we tried to get him here, and he went to play with Jaden Daniels, and now they've had a philosophy difference, I guess is what it's being called. I don't even know what that means, but
really. So is he out over there now? It's official. So he's officially just out of a job.
They said that it was a philosophy difference in how the organization should move forward, and they didn't say that he did a bad job, but it's kind of undetermined what that even means, like a philosophy difference.
That's interesting. This is the first I'm hearing of it. That's wild. I was initially a Cliff Kingsbury guy. Not necessarily as a head coach, but as an offensive mind, right?
Right.
I think he's earned his stripes, if you will. And as an
he looked good with Jaden Daniels in his rookie year. That was an impressive show.
Impressive. So that's why, am I ready to just hand over a head coaching job, so to speak? Not necessarily, but 100%. He should be capable of, pretty much writing his ticket in terms of an offensive coordinator and being one of the best minds in the NFL right now.
I would agree with that. I think Cliff. I didn't like that he agreed to agreed to come here and then went to Washington. That didn't feel so good. I kind of think like an apology is in order, but if he comes here, but Davis Webb, he has the connection with Kingsbury. So if Webb were the head coach, I could see that being a natural kind of offensive coordinator partnership.
Man, see now. See, Pigs is starting to make me think, because these are things that I have. Although I'll be honest, I still believe they're leftovers. I still think they're afterthoughts. They're
Well, you got to appreciate what he did with Jaden Daniels. That was
yes,
a rookie quarterback. That's no easy feat for any rookie, like to come in and look like a veteran.
Well, could you really imagine him coming here now, though, after, because he's going to need that third, quote-unquote, year that they claim?
Well, I think Webb would vouch for him, and they would kind of be if the ship goes down, they go down together kind of deal, if Webb were the head coach.
Yeah, that's an interesting take, Pigs, because hell, I think Webb is younger than Kingsbury. Right?
He is, yeah. Kingsbury was his coach, so it's they know each other pretty
well. Yeah, dude.
I like the dynamic personally because I think it's untested, it's unexperimented, so it's kind of the frontier exploration, which I think the NFL needs. We've been so much of a copycat league, just doing what other people do. We've kind of lost the experimentation, lost the innovation, and really that's what drives progress.
Yes.
In my opinion.
I agree. I mean, and the funny thing is, man, you would think that with the NFL rules and changes that favor offense that we'd see much, much larger pickup in terms of offensive prowess, etc., and that's just the case. Defense still is prevailing. I think the league is purposefully trying to tilt the scale. And they're having a hard time doing it. They're having a hard time doing it.
Yeah, it's a real head scratcher because guys like Flores, they're breaking the rules. Their defenses are killing it. Meanwhile, the offense sucks. The defense is carrying all the weight in Minnesota.
All of the weight. All of it.
Pretty much, yeah. So if we get a defensive coordinator who can do that and then have a high-flying offense with Kingsbury, that would be pretty cool. But I really believe defense wins championships, so that defensive coordinator position has to be
and that
out of the park.
And that would be the problem if we did do something like a Webb Kingsbury. You would have to literally get the best head coach, defensive coordinator to even that out. Otherwise,
I've got a name for you, Turf. I've got a name for you. Glenn Schumann.
Glenn Schumann. Okay.
Yeah, he's Georgia's defensive coordinator. And he's taken interviews in the NFL before and turned down offers to return to Georgia. I think he did that on purpose because he's innovating, because he's pushing defensive boundaries with Georgia, because Georgia brings the best talent to the table. He's able to do what he wants to do in Georgia. But I think if Mark Davis throws enough money at him, he could come as a young guy and fit in with the other coaches kind of perfectly. He's a young guy himself, and he's been innovating with Georgia. And honestly, I think Georgia's defense was a championship caliber team for the past 5-6 years.
Correct.
Solidly championship, no question about it.
It's absolutely the bright side of their team, period. No question.
And he's kind of the mastermind behind it. He makes the personnel choices in some ways because the defense court, he's meeting with players and bringing the talent in. That's super important and something I'm not sure Graham did so well. I thought Patrick Graham was an amazing defensive coordinator, but he wasn't really influencing personnel choices, bringing in talent.
You know what? And see, that's something that I can accept because everyone knows I'm a PG fan.
I'm a PG fan too.
I argue with Chris about, shout out to Protect the Shield and the Shield Squad. Yeah, I argue with him all the time. He thinks that Patrick Graham has not shown head coaching caliber. Coaching, I guess, if you will. I think the exact opposite, but I am a little biased. He's from Connecticut. Shout out to the Dirty Water. Waterbury, Connecticut. He is a Yale graduate.
Yeah. Got to show loyalty.
Smart guy, played the position, right? So, I don't know, man. I am high on Patrick Graham.
I really appreciate Patrick Graham for sticking with us and making the best of it. Because not many guys would have done that, and he did it.
Exactly.
So I show a lot of respect.
I feel like he never ever really truly got a chance to do exactly what he wanted.
No, he had to play a role.
Exactly. He's always had to play a role. He's always had to make things work. fit in. Give him a shot. And
I think he's Flores. He's just like Flores. If given the opportunity.
Exactly. Given the opportunity.
As far as capability.
He's just not as bullish as Flores, and that's the difference. He's more passive aggressive.
It's a personality difference, but as far as the ability is there.
It is. I'm so glad you say this, man. Man, pigs. I'm telling you gotta hop on more because you're absolutely saying a lot of the things that I've not been articulating.
I can point to the time with AP where the reins were taken off. That defense looked different. They sounded different. They felt different. And I don't think that was AP. I think AP gave Patrick Graham the freedom to do that.
Correct.
And that was what he needed.
And he still didn't have all the pieces that he wanted either, right? And that's why I'm so upset for him. He's still never just gotten that chance.
And maybe the criticism about him not bringing in personnel is unfair because what you said, it's like he's deferring to other people to step up and do their part. Whereas a Brian Flores might be more demanding, saying, I need this, I need that. But PG is expecting Pete Carroll to, be Pete Carroll, and it just wasn't the case.
And in this scenario, Pete Carroll, I think he screwed us big time, right? In terms of his measurables on players, getting rid of the best cornerback we had. Don't get me wrong, I wasn't a huge Jacorian Bennett fan by any means.
I would say Jack Jones was our best quarterback.
Exactly.
I actually really like Jack Jones in Miami. He played, I think, above a lot of people's expectation there, especially in Miami fans. They credited him a lot for what he did.
Absolutely. And Jack Jones is the real deal. He's just a particular player. You got to have a coach that can connect.
Actually, Miami's defensive coordinator, I think, is out the door because they have a new head coach there. So, yes. That's a possibility as well.
Possibility, yeah. Mm-hmm. We have some possibilities. The reality is, though, they're leftovers. Let's be honest. These are not.
That's why I like Schumann. He's at the top of the college hill. Like, that's kind of exciting, especially when you're bringing a young staff of innovators, kind of giving these guys freedom and maybe more tolerance to figure it out.
Yeah, Schumann.
How old is he?
Yeah.
He looks young. I'll check his age.
Check that out. I'm curious because that's actually a good call out. If we're gonna go that low, right?
Well, he's 35. He's born 1990. So that's kind of right in line with the other coaches.
Yes, I like it. it.
He's been doing so well with Georgia. Like, yes, they do have the best talent, but he's been bringing the best out of them and getting them drafted super high. So that's kind of a testament of the coach's ability to work with the player and bring out their full potential as well. And that's in line with Webb as well, as far as bringing out the best in the player as a coach.
That is interesting.
And I think Mark has the money to do it, and that's probably what would get him to leave Georgia.
He's never, ever not had a problem with money, right? Let's be real. He just paid the highest offensive coordinator of all time. What
would it take to get him to leave the Bulldogs, though? That would be a serious thing to leave.
I think
it's the length of the contract. That's the main thing that all these coaches are looking for, is job security, knowing that they can have the ability to get their guys, work with them, develop them, and have the success pay off in your 2, 3, 4 type deal.
Correct. And be there. And if not, hey, you paid me for it. I agree.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree. The long term, and that's why they want a minimum of 3-4 years on their contract. And that's fair. That's very fair. Man, I'm warming up to this scenario of what's left over. Right? Let's be real. We have this left over. We got to try to make,
I asked ChatGPT. It says he needs a 4-year contract. That's ChatGPT knows.
4-year contract.
Although it says $4.5 million a year. Like, that's
nothing.
No, that's doable.
That's easily doable.
But that's a huge upgrade for his salary. I would imagine. Like, Georgia, they couldn't be paying him more than $1 million.
No, they're not paying him. Yeah, and I'll tell you this. I don't think that Mark would have a problem paying him either. I think that would be straight.
4 years, 4.5 a year. That's doable.
It's easy. Yeah. Work. That's easy work. It's just, I mean, how are they gonna? I mean, so a lot of people have been pointing to this kid Webb. I will say it will grow on me if he's the chosen one. I just don't see Kubiak coming. I just don't see his father allowing him to make that bad decision. And
yeah, I don't see Kubiak coming.
This is a bad decision, right? See, now let's have the uncomfortable conversation. This is the bad decision. There's a reason the Raiders are in this predicament. Let's be realistic here. Let's be honest.
I think expectations would be too high with Kubiak, and if he doesn't have success day one, people would turn on him pretty quick.
And he's going to have to deal with that down the line, and there's no reason to put yourself in that kind of harm's way.
And he knows it. He knows it. Like, that's it's kind of obvious. Like, I think a young coach is kind of needed in this way. Like someone who doesn't have the expectations way through the roof. Like Kubiak, people would be expecting playoffs year one.
I agree. 100%. Huh.
What do you think the backlash would be if Kubiak had like a 4-win season?
Oh God. He wouldn't survive it.
No.
He wouldn't survive it.
Even if the team looks like competitive, 4 wins wouldn't be acceptable. Like,
no. At this point, I think 5 to 6 wins is going to be the minimum. I mean, that's the precedence that's being set. That's not right. Let's be honest, right? It's like, hey, do better than last year's coach, or you're out of here. That's kind of the precedence that's been set.
That's the benchmark. Yeah.
Benchmark. You want to keep your job, do better than last year. Which should be easy to do, but clearly even Pete Carroll couldn't do it, and that was what was so disappointing. I totally blame him allowing his son to cause a mockery of that offense.
Yeah, it's tough. I really didn't want Pete Carroll here
at all.
I was against it. No, from the start. Like, actually, I remember Amy Trask was actually advocating quite a bit for Pete Carroll early on. And I kind of suspected they have, many years of a relationship going back in time. And she probably, I would think, influenced Pete Carroll coming here. Even though she doesn't have an official role with the organization, I think she still speaks to the right people and gets her opinion into the ethos of Raiders decisions.
Right. And
her support for Pete Carroll, I warned her. I said the reason that he left Seattle was because of his relationships. They weren't working. It's nothing that he was doing personally. It's the connections that he was making, and that came full circle with his sons. Like that was a relationships problem.
Right.
It's unfortunate because Seattle fans were complaining about that very thing, saying he was too loyal to certain coordinators and not bringing the best guy in for the job, but rather his guy. Like that's that works if you got your finger on the pulse of everything and full control of everything. But as soon as you take your finger off, even for a second, things go awry. And you can't expect someone at that particular juncture in their life, that senior, that elderly, that's the reality of it, to keep their finger on 100% of the time.
Yeah, that was bad business. There's no other way around it. It was just bad business.
Would you have felt differently if you fired Brendan Carroll, say week 5, week 6?
I would have, yes. Me personally, yes, because that shows not only you can diagnose the problem, the issue, you can pull a trigger when it's so close to home.
So even if he came out the other side of the season with just a handful of wins, if he made those kinds of decisions, it would have affected decisions.
It would have made my decision to keep him and try to create more of a solid base moving forward. 100% yes. If you have the guts to fire your own son, absolutely. You have,
he showed that the issues that he was having in Seattle, he wasn't able to overcome. Like that.
Bingo.
Kind of is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing. Like, once you show that, what else can be done?
As it pertains to the draft class, I actually like a lot of the players he drafted, just not at the draft slots that they were drafted.
Okay, let's talk about it, because the only person I can even think of.
Well, like, for instance, a Porter. He's an older player. He didn't have a ton of experience at cornerback. Why did we draft him so high? He should have been more of a fourth, fifth round pick.
Correct.
Not a third round pick. Like, that didn't make sense. Thornton, he didn't have the production to justify a fourth round pick. He should have been a fifth, sixth round pick. Like, I actually like the potential for these players, but it is a risk, and that risk should reflect in the draft pick slot. And it's just not good value when you overdraft a player, because it puts unrealistically high expectations on them and then creates more backlash when they don't perform.
I mean, Ashton Janty. Let's be honest. It's the number one,
Yeah, Ashton Genty's a tough situation. I really like the player's potential, but just not the draft slot. That's outside of the 10 maybe. But inside the 10, like, that was...
doesn't make sense. And that's a Pete Carroll pick. It has to be. That had to be a Pete Carroll pick. I don't see any GM saying, you know what, I want to spend my number 6 round draft pick on a running back when it's the best running back draft class of all time. Of all time.
Yeah, there were guys I really wanted. I still wish we drafted more running backs. If we were even still taking Janty, I wish we got another dip in that class, because there were some special athletes there.
We're seeing it. We're seeing undrafted free agents of that draft class doing things.
Yeah. Washington's running back. Yes. He was really,
I don't know his name.
It's kind of hard to pronounce. Corey Merritt or something like that.
Exactly.
But Kyle Mononga, 7th round pick, and he was balling out in the playoffs. Like, kind of a nice tandem going on with the speed and the power.
Basil Tootin.
Yeah.
Jacksonville Jaguars. He looked really good that playoff game before losing. And I projected him to be pretty good. Quentin Judkins, I think he would have been statistically the best running back with the worst offensive line in the league if he didn't get hurt.
If he started the season as well, like he didn't start until like week 4. I had him on my fantasy team, so I had him before the season started, just sitting on the bench waiting.
Yep, exactly.
And he played well for the weeks he played. Getting mad points.
Absolutely, he played very well.
And teams were stacking the box. Like, that's not an easy feat for a rookie.
Yep. No, absolutely. Travion Henderson.
Yeah, I had him on my fantasy team too.
Dude, I blame McDaniels on that one. I feel like
Josh McDaniels.
Yes, because
he stole him.
A, and then B, he didn't even play him. They had.
There were some stretches where he got points, but for the first half of the season, he wasn't played. Yeah, it took a long time to get into the offense.
McDaniels, it was too.
That is the McDaniels kind of thing.
It's quote unquote too complicated. See, and that's my thing. When you have players, remove the complications and let them boys ball. Let them play. That will trump any scheme, any magic that any coach can come up with. A natural player playing himself. And not
McDaniels doesn't do that.
And he doesn't. And that's and I think he's finding a way to make that mix, because he's still not doing it. He's still not using Henderson the way he should be.
Henderson's showing a lot. It's just kind of in spots. It's not been consistent through the year.
Yeah, 4 touches in the last game.
Yeah, that's not good. That's rough.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That caliber type of guy, 4 touches. So, in my opinion, hey, if you're playing against them, hint, in the Super Bowl, I would be eyeing Mr. Henderson. He's going to be the most healthy dude on that offense.
That's a good point. Yeah, he's fresh. He's going to be able to get top speed.
And he is a game changer. Do not get that twisted. Game changer. He's not just he's a game changer. He's the 1B of my 1A, 1B in terms of the best running back in this draft class. The only other
you liked Hampton as well, right?
Omarion Hampton was the only other running back that I graded just as good, if not better, than Travion Henderson.
Did Hampton got into some injury stuff with the Chargers? Because their offensive line was so bad that he got beat up pretty quick.
He lost both of his starting tackles before the season even started.
Yeah, that's not good for running back.
Before the season, before game 1, I believe he lost both tackles, left and right. So.
Yeah. But it's still a special class, and you do kind of reflect on the Genty selection as maybe you do that if you're a playoff team that somehow had an extra pick from a trade and you ended up there, and you need that guy to push you over the edge, i.e. Jamal Lewis with the Ravens is the perfect example. Yeah, if Genty went to a playoff team, even if it was in the top 10 selection, I could understand it, but we were not that.
No, at all. Not even close. No. And we're paying for this. We are this is why we have 4 wins. You get a tackle, you pick up a different running back in the second round instead of grabbing Jack Bash.
Ariante Ursary, Jonas Savigny. There were tackles there. I mean, he plays guard, but he still could have had the potential to try a tackle.
And we need guards.
Yeah, either way, we would have been able to use them.
I mean, oh man, it absolutely could have worked, but it didn't. And I blame Pete Carroll. I blame Peter because I'm pretty positive Peter. He's playing Al Davis, right? He took one look at Mr. Ashton Jeanty and said, "That's my new beast mode. That's my new,
Yeah, I mean,
Hall of Fame."
Everyone saw the highlights. He looked unreal at Boise State, like unreal. He had moments in the NFL, but it just still those those linemen were not able to open holes for him to have the flashes consistently enough.
Correct, and we're paying for it. We're going to pay for this, guys. That's the whole point. That's why. And we keep making bad choices with our first round pick.
Outside of Bowers being the exception.
Brock Bowers was the exception to the rule. And that's what hurts me a little bit because of all of our GMs. It looks like Coupon Tom was the one that actually has the pieces that will pan out. Coupon Tom's draft was pretty impressive. Right?
He sticks to best player available. He's patient. He knows value. And value in a draft is king.
Bingo. And that's where we'd won. But unfortunately, we just can't get it together. It'd be interesting to see who he would have picked. Yeah. If he had the first round pick, as opposed to, I guarantee you, it would not have been Janty.
I think he would have went with Membu.
I agree. I think it would have been the unsexy pick, Membu. That's who I wanted.
I wanted McMillan personally, but I think Tom Telesco would have selected Membu. Membu's combine performance was unreal. A big guy moving that fast is too scary.
Membu was kind of a no miss.
No, he's powerful. He's fast. That's what Tom Telesco likes.
It's who I wanted. And then before that, the year before that was Fuaga.
Yeah.
That's what I remember. And the reason I remember Fuaga is because of my offensive line coach. You got to remember, he came out of Oregon State.
Yeah.
And he was coached by my ex-offensive line coach. Shout out to Coach Jim Milcarrick.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, I don't know where he is anymore. He was at Michigan State. They got fired. So you know how that goes.
I liked Fuaga. I would have taken Bowers over Fuaga if I were in the draft, but I would have liked Fuaga if Bowers wasn't there. He would have been my number 2.
No, I agree. And I can admit that hindsight. See, and that's where, right, the good old internet don't lie. If anybody recalls, shout out to the Raiders Syndicate. They got a lot of content on good old turf because I was not happy with that pick. We were all in Detroit, and Turf was ready to go home. I was ready to go home day one. Oh, I was sick as a dog. I hated the pick.
Oh, man.
I hated
I mean, Bowers didn't look thrilled that he was coming here, but maybe that was his personality. We didn't know him at the time all that well. Like, kind of had to warm up to him.
That's exactly what that was.
And he had to warm up to us, too. Like,
I assure you that's what that was. He's been nothing but a model citizen from that respect.
He's the perfect pro, and I wish we could clone him because I think a team of Bowers would dominate the NFL. He could play all the positions, like wide receiver, slot, running back, like fullback. He can do it all.
I agree. And I think it's another thing that's appealing to an offensive-minded guy.
Yeah.
You got him, you got Janty. Now it's
tools.
Matter. Yeah, you got some things to work with. I mean,
I would argue our offense has more talent than our defense right now, easily. Like as far as pure talent goes, our offense is way more talent.
All we have on defense is Max. You know what I mean? And I'm just holding it down just because I'm biased and I love University of Minnesota. Shout out to them Golden Gophers. Yeah, yeah, right. I have to. Yeah.
You're always looking for the opportunity to shout out your guys, Turf. I respect it.
Yep, I have to. But yeah, I mean, it'll be interesting, man. I do wish we would hurry up and select the coach, though.
Yeah, it would be good as far as bringing the pieces together would give a lot more confidence in the decision. I think the longer we wait, the more uncertainty there is and kind of questioning what is the organization's philosophy. When you see guys like Minter going to the Ravens, you kind of wish they jumped on it early and not waited to check Kubiak out because, I mean, I don't think Kubiak's a realistic option. So it's why are we waiting for him when we had Minter right there?
I could not agree with you more, sir. I think Kubiak is not even an option. I mean, anybody that has a dad in their life that sees this situation, they're never gonna vouch for it. You're literally just looking to grab a bag and some money because this front office. So you tell me, how do you feel about our front office? Because I think it's a bunch of the blind leading the blind.
Yeah, I mean, I
mean that.
I kind of shared about Tom Brady that I had more expectations that he'd be involved and taking responsibility. And it's disappointing that he's doing this hidden hand stuff. And if it doesn't work out, it's not his decision. If it works out, of course he's going to step up and say it was me. Yeah, that's unfortunate. And I would hope that Spytech in some ways could be clever enough to trap him where he has to take responsibility at some point if he is going to be meddling and pulling strings, like so that fans can hold him accountable and kind of point the right finger at the right person. Because right now we're all just kind of standing around saying, what the fuck? Like, it's not really a healthy situation.
It's not, and that's the problem I have. It's like, why are we doing this? Where's the benefit from not knowing where the single ringable neck is?
Yeah. There's no benefit.
Where did I get that term from? Single ringable.
The ringable neck.
Yeah, it's single ringable neck. Like, it's
right.
The whole term.
I'm seeing the rubber chicken. Someone just
yes. It's just there's always that thing. Somebody's got to be
probably from a cartoon way back when. Like,
yeah.
I mean,
but they find a good way to not do that, and I don't like that.
No, it creates a lot of confusion, and in that confusion, there's all kinds of people looking out for their own agenda as opposed to the collective team unity, which really should be the focus at all times.
Absolutely. 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 Well, we're at the top of the hour, man. So I want to get to the last category. We're definitely going to do this again. I don't know why this screwed up tonight. Don't worry, I'll figure it out. Turf is always struggle streaming. But yeah, man, this whole number one pick.
Yes, sir.
First and foremost, I want to hear exactly what Pigs would do with this pick.
Yeah.
And why?
If I were GM.
Yeah. Yes.
Right. So I'm trading back, 100% trading back. The reason being is I believe there's Hall of Famers in this class, and it's not even like a question. I think Sonny Styles is legit. I think Caleb Downs is legit. And I think Caden McDonald is legit. And if they played together and we traded back and got all three, we could potentially have, a Ravens defense, a Steelers defense, a defense that could last a decade.
Hey.
Playing championship football, not just a couple of guys on defense holding it together, but our true defense dominating. And I think that's what you need in order to win in the NFL, is a team that dominates. And even if we have a great quarterback, that's not guaranteeing anything. Tom Brady had a dominant defense. That's all I got to say about it.
Yeah. You're absolutely right, man. I have always been a defense wins championships kind of guy. And even with all of the rule changes and so forth, I still continue to believe that's still where it sits. The defensive teams win.
And as far as how do you solve the quarterback issue, I think you take a bunch of quarterbacks and you force them into a competition. You let the cream rise to the top, just like with Tom Brady. He had 3 other guys he had to beat out in order to get the starting job. And that's really what we need, is true competition, not one guy just anointed. One guy anointed is a dangerous thing. That sets you up as a franchise in a very risky way. If you have a bunch of lottery tickets battling it out, you just do it next year. Then you do it next year. Then you do it next year until the cream rises to the top.
Yeah, something happens. I could not agree more. I would be more than ecstatic with that route.
And I think there's lottery tickets in this draft that you could get late, a bunch of them.
Absolutely.
And force them into competition. That's really what I want.
And that's what every healthy team needs, is a next man up mentality.
Yes, sir.
Somebody goes down, it's not a huge drop off to where now you're compensating for that 1 out of 11 players, right? And now everything shifts. These are an absolute necessity for a team that's going to win it all. And I'm excited to see how we build that. Like you said, this is a good draft. So
what would you do if you were GM in our position?
Exactly what you said. Trade back. I would trade back and stock as many picks as I possibly could. I think if you're looking at quarterback as a position, you are better off next year. And
so trying to get some picks in the trade back in next year's class to have ammunition to be able to move around and get the guy.
If necessary.
Right.
I think the next 2 draft classes are going to be pretty amazing at the quarterback position.
So, as far as this year, would you rock with Geno Smith, or would you prefer to take flyers on lottery tickets?
I'm done with Geno Smith. I would pick another veteran, right? And this is going to be weird for some. I would get rid of AOC. I would try to get what I could for him. There's somebody out there that believes he's still.
I think he would do well in Indianapolis, behind Daniel Jones.
The kid has still got a shot at being a great starting quarterback. I just don't think it's going to be here. Right.
I want him in Indy. I think their offense is set up for him in a lot of ways. The way that they were playing with Daniel Jones, he was having success. I think AOC would do the same. And they need a quarterback to start the season for a few games until Daniel Jones is healthy. So.
That is true. I didn't even think about that. That makes sense.
I think we could probably get a 3rd-round pick. We drafted him as a 4th. I think we could get a 3rd. That would be, I think, acceptable for both parties.
3rd round. If we could get a 3rd round for AOC, I would be ecstatic. Oh my God.
I mean, we traded a 3rd round pick for Geno. I think AOC is a better quarterback right now than Geno. So I don't know. Like Geno has the highs, but he has so many lows that AOC doesn't have. Like he doesn't have all these game-ending plays. Like
right. Yeah, you're not getting anything for Geno. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, no, his contract is too much. It's just the trade value isn't there.
And so I guess what do we do with that? We just eat it, huh?
Pretty much. That's why bringing in a veteran, like I would be hesitant to do that. I would prefer to have a bunch of flyers like Diego Pavia fighting Geno Smith for the starting role. That would be hilarious, first of all. Good media. And it'd make the season entertaining, seeing Geno battling with a Diego. That would be pretty entertaining.
Look, again, very transparent. I can't stand that kid.
Fair enough, but if he's forcing Geno to step it up, like that'd be worthwhile. Like
no.
Get under his skin, force him to be better.
There's no way he's getting into the NFL.
I think 7th round pick. That's his spot.
End
of the draft.
There's no way.
Like Brock Purdy. Same kind of deal.
9 7/8 murdered.
Doug Flutie, I seen it live. It does happen. Like it's not every day, but there are exceptions.
Doug Flutie was 5'11", though, I believe.
Well, yeah, he definitely looked smaller than everyone else on the field. Like he was the smallest guy.
Dude, Doug Flutie was the dude.
He was a special athlete.
Oh, absolutely, 100%. Oh, 100%.
I seen him. Doug Flutie and Damon Allen. They invented RPOs. RPOs started in Canada and then came to college football and then ended up in the NFL. But it all started with Damon Allen up with Edmonton.
Yeah, I believe it.
So Damon Allen was doing RPOs in Edmonton, and then Doug Flutie copied Damon Allen. And he admitted it. He talked about it in an interview that he was watching what Damon Allen was doing and then was integrating it into his game. And because the CFL was, not as high stakes as the NFL, they could get away with making things up and experimenting and trying new things. And so that's how the RPO kind of was able to flourish, was through experimentation.
Crazy.
And it fit Doug Flutie perfectly. He was able to punish defenses when they would bite and take it for big yards. Right.
Yeah. Doug Flutie, absolute legend in the game. Absolute legend in the game. Yeah, man.
That's my comp for Diego is Doug Flutie. Like, it makes sense in a lot of ways. Like they're both kind of plus athletes, undersized.
Right.
But with a live arm, despite the undersized.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not a person that I don't like Diego.
How do you force Geno to be better? Like that's the real question. We're stuck with Geno.
Nah,
you gotta get someone to get under him. Like push him.
We're stuck with him. There's nothing you can do.
Yeah, his contract's not movable, and cutting him doesn't really make sense because we're still eating such a big chunk of money.
There's nothing we can do. We're stuck with it. I mean, I don't know.
Remember when people were calling Geno a top 15 quarterback in the league when we did the trade? Everyone was saying, "Oh, he's top 15. That's good for us." I couldn't believe it at the time.
I'll admit, I definitely leaned in terms of him and Pete in general, as just a support. But when it was first initially announced, it was like,
it was a questionable move for sure.
Very questionable, and it did not work out, which is why they got fired, in my opinion. Well, why Peter got fired, right? I mean, it was his call. Like you said,
it's a big factor.
There was a lot that had Peter's name all over it, and it did not go well for him.
No, he kind of tried to, I don't even know exactly. He tried to reinvigorate what had worked previously.
Yes.
But, yeah, that just wasn't flying.
The ship has sailed. It said that Those days are over. Those days are over. Man, I don't know. It is what it is. I wish nothing but well for Peter Carroll. I hope
he's still got a great career, like a
top. 100%. He's a Hall of Famer. Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. Yeah. I hope his son never coaches again. No, after learning what he learned and heard and all of this stuff, like it's like, are you kidding me, man? This is just ride the coattails of your dad and move on, sir.
I couldn't deal with the story that the offensive line
had to meet
confused by him and had to do extra outside of working with him in order to figure it out. Like, that's unacceptable. And I kind of like that they were working together outside of the coaching, but the fact that it was like because it was so bad that's what happened, like, that's kind of unfortunate. Very unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. But hey, you live and you learn. It is what it is, man. Well, this was a great show, bro. We'll do this absolutely again. I will have the kinks worked out. I didn't realize that I was catching myself at such a bad time. I actually drove back from Omaha, Nebraska on Sunday. Sunday morning, I drove in the worst climate of all time. I had no business driving. By the way, driving a rear-wheel BMW, I will never make this mistake.
Rear wheel, okay.
In the worst climate weather. I
that all-wheel.
The ice in Texas this thick, and anybody knows Texas, you don't have the equipment for anything, let alone ice. So Turf learned a lesson there, and I will not be driving from anywhere there. To hear when they say it's a storm.
I like storms. I like snow. That's kind of I enjoy driving in that.
That's your thing. Yeah, well, Canadian niche. When I have 4-wheel drive, you know.
But helps.
Rear wheel is.
Yeah, front wheel's just as bad. All wheel is what you need for those conditions.
You have to have it. You have to have 4-wheel drive, man. 4-wheel drive. So, hey, hopefully you enjoyed yourself, man. We will absolutely do this again.
Totally.
Yeah, as soon as you can. It's going to be a long off season, a very long off season. But yeah, tell the people, man, where they can find you. All those good things.
Yeah, I mean, my tag, my handle, Pigs76. It's standard on Instagram and YouTube. So
yes, sir.
You'll see me commenting on videos here and there. Definitely chime in, check in, ask questions. I'll always answer. Yes,
please do. I like I say again, even when I don't agree with your takes, I love them. Right? I love the banter back and forth. You're very respectable, stand-up guy, man. You've been nothing but a huge help to the Ultimate Raider Fan 32 show as a constant person that shows up, supports, chats, and everything. We love you, man. Appreciate you.
I'll give a quick feedback on what it is about your channel that stands out as far as like a detail that I kind of recognize. You build a world, Turf. There's kind of a world building aspect to your channel that I think is a standout. You're always cultivating it, building it, and growing it. This world space, and that's not something that everyone does. That's kind of more unique, and it adds a lot of interest and depth.
Thank you, man. Thank you. I appreciate it. And I like that you say that because that's what I am trying to do. Create that energy, right? That,
interactive space, that
bingo.
3D world.
Yes. And everybody's opinion matters, if you will, right? Even though we may not like it.
Fair enough.
Sometimes those are the ones that do actually matter more than anything else.
It stimulates new ideas, fresh ideas. That's what we need. We need something different.
Correct. All right, man. Well, we got tomorrow night, my better half, if you will. It's always better halves in terms of dealing with your boy Turf, and that is Coach Angelo, and it's the Knockout Canvas tomorrow night, 6 p.m. sharp. And then Thursday, man, we're going to get back to it. We're going to get back to Dead in the Water. We got to change that name, right? Because the Patriots are in the Super Bowl. They're in the Super
Yeah.
Bowl. Yeah, it's
Well, they're flying high right now.
First time coach, second time quarterback, Super Bowl. It's so depressing. Anywho, all right, man. It was great chopping it up with you, my guy. We will do this sooner than later. Raider Nation, peace. We're out.
Take your brother, you big